Good evening. I am Ronald Reagan speaking for General Electric. Tonight from Hollywood, it is my pleasure to appear in a story entitled The Dark, Dark Hours. Young James Dean, one of the bright new actors in Hollywood, appears with me, and Constance Ford plays my wife on the General Electric Theater. Yes?
You the doctor?
Yes?
We had an accident here.
Bring him in. That's a bullet wound. Where'd you get that?
From a gun, man. Where you going?
To the phone.
Well, it was like we were hunting, like this little bunny.
Yeah, sure, I
popped
know.
up. You don't want to call nobody.
I'm sorry. I have to call the police. That's the law.
Law? We break those all the time, don't we, boy? Oh, I guess we broke them maybe at 10 tonight. One more's not going to hurt, Doc.
Look, boys, I don't know what you've done.
Oh, no, Doc. Now, you take out that bullet and stop talking.
I'm not a surgeon.
Well, fake it, Dad.
What?
But do the best you can. You dig me? You pick up on that, man? Crazy. Huh? It's crazy, isn't it?
We'd better get him to a hospital.
Why?
He's lost a lot of blood. He needs a transfusion.
Well, give it to him.
I don't have the equipment. Come on, help me get him to the car.
What, are you crazy, Dad?
Well, do you want him to die?
I can't go to no hospital.
You don't have to go. Just help me get him to the car.
Now, wait a minute. Now, let's just keep it cool, man. Just don't mess around.
Well, now, look, if we're not in a... Turn off that radio. If we don't hurry, there's no use in going. It might be too late right now.
Come on, man.
Either help me or get out of the way.
Wait a minute! You're getting me mixed up. Now, let's keep it
Take
cool.
his feet.
Cool.
Take his feet.
Hey, Pee-wee. Hey, man. Come on, man. Don't goof on me now. Well, Pee-wee, you're not dead. What'd you kill him for? You killed him. You killed him. You killed him.
Stop it. Sit down and get
I'm
hold of
gonna
yourself.
kill you, both of you. You shouldn't have done it, man. What am I gonna do? Come on, man. We're gonna cut out of here. We don't want to bother you, honest. We don't. Give us a half hour, promise. Come on, man. We don't want to kill you, honest. We don't. Do we, man? Huh? Come on. You gotta give us time to get away.
Mommy! Oh, honey, it's all right, darling. I'll put you back to bed.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Doc, she's gonna get herself hurt. You know that.
You'd better get out of here.
I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to listen to nobody. This is a gun, man. I'm a big man. Take a good look at it. I'm a big man.
I want you to get out of this house, and I want you to get out right now.
Look, Doc, you're a swinger. I can trust you, but you get them crusaders around. And how do I know that when I leave here, she's not going to pick up the phone? No, man, I need protection. And I'm going to tell you one thing. No one's going to look at me again like I'm a piece of dirt. Now, pick me.
Leave her alone.
I got the gun, not you.
That's only a .32. That's not a very big bullet.
I'm not going to hurt her, Doc. I just got to make sure.
You got to be lucky. And if you're lucky, very lucky, then you've killed another man.
It's just
me.
a loan, Doc. It's just a loan, that's all. I'm going to let her go, and you can pick her up in half an hour, huh?
But if you're not lucky, that bullet isn't going to stop me.
No good, Doc.
I want you to take your hands off my wife and get out of this house.
Get out of the way.
Sure. I'll get out of the way. But you're going out of here alone, Sonny.
Don't you call me Sonny! Now you got 5 seconds to get out of the way. 1.
I'm telling you for the last time, if you go out of here, you're going out alone.
2.
Let go my mommy!
It's all right, Susie. Everything's going to be all right.
3.
Let go my mommy!
I'm not afraid
Watch
of you!
it, Benny!
I don't know whether to beat you or kill you. Oh, You never did get the idea, did you? Did you think for one minute that I was afraid of you? I did everything you asked because I wanted to get you out of here. I didn't want my family getting hurt by a vicious little pup like you. No, you had to be a big man with a gun. Well, your friend in there is dead because of you. How big does that make you feel?
Hit me. Why don't you hit me?
Because if I started, I don't think I could stop.
Oh, no.
Well, I hope you enjoyed James Dean and Constance Ford and the rest of us in the dark, dark hours.
Arshad Mahmood of Pakistan.
Both of you a moment ago defended the right of self-determination of people and the right of dissent. I was wondering, given the assumption that North Vietnam and South Vietnam can be brought to the conference table, would you advocate that the National Liberation Front be given place in the negotiations or at the conference?
Is that who is that directed at?
Well, why don't you start, Senator?
I've said before that I'm in favor of the National Liberation Front being represented at the conference table, that they come to the conference table, that they take a part in the discussions. They have been involved in the struggle for a long period of time. I don't think that we can arrive at any meaningful peace. I don't think we can have any negotiations that really are going to be very productive unless the National Liberation Front is represented. And I would therefore be in favor of the National Liberation Front, who is the political arm of those who are providing most of the troops, most of the force, most of the effort in the South, being represented at the conference table.
Governor?
Well, here we're in disagreement. I believe if there is any negotiation involving the Viet Cong, that is between the Viet Cong and the South Vietnamese government in a negotiation of their own, because the Viet Cong is in the position of being a rebellious force, an illegal force, fighting against the duly authorized government of its own nation. And to sit them down at a negotiating table between two nations, North and South Vietnam, who are engaged in a conflict, is tipping the scales. I doubt if we wanted to draw a parallel.
Do you think the United States should be represented then?
No, if you're going to have a negotiation between North and South Vietnam.
No, but if you're going to have a negotiation, if you're going to have negotiations to end the war, North Vietnam, South Vietnam is going to be represented. Should the United States and the National Liberation Front be there?
Well, I don't think you can have a rebel force that is engaged in criminal activity having the distinction of sitting at the table as one of the representatives.
System is still where it was with regard to the progressivity, as I've said.
Walter Mondale says, looking back, he said that was the one moment he believed he really could win that election.
Today we have a brand new race.
They got 2 weeks to get ready for the next debate. There is one more debate, and Reagan has one challenge. He has got to reassure.
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
It's a great moment because obviously it's a great line. In
Every person trapped in tyranny, whether in the Ukraine, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Cuba, or Vietnam, we send our love and support and tell them they are not alone. Our message must be your struggle is our struggle, your dream is our dream, and someday you too will be free. As Pope John Paul told his beloved Poles, we are blessed by divine heritage. We are children of God and we cannot be slaves. History shows that it is precisely when totalitarian regimes begin to decay from within, it is precisely when they feel the first real stirrings of domestic unrest that they seek to reassure their own people of their vast and unchallengeable power through imperialistic expansion or foreign adventure. So the era ahead of us is one that will see grave challenges and be fraught with danger. Yet it's one that I firmly believe will end in the triumph of the civilized world and the supremacy of its beliefs in individual liberty, representative government, and the rule of law under God. And that's why we must now summon all the nations of the world to a crusade for freedom and a global campaign for the rights of the individual. I look at you and I know I'm looking at people who have seen and suffered the full gamut of totalitarian terror. Some of you lost friends and loved ones in your struggles, and some of you risked your lives and all your earthly belongings, and you'll bear scars for the rest of your life. You are men and women of courage, heroes who have devoted a lifetime to struggle for God's greatest gift, for freedom. And for that, I can only say I'm honored to be here with you today, and I'll be proud to stand by you always. Today, the goals of our foreign policy are the same as they have been for the last 4 decades. We stand against totalitarianism, particularly imperialist expansionist totalitarianism. We are for democracy and human rights, and we are for a worldwide prosperity that only free economies can give, and the pursuit of human happiness that only political freedom allows. Tyrants tyrannize because that's what they do for a living. But the ungodly force called tyranny still cannot rid the human soul of its freedom, no matter how hard it may try. Tyrants can defy the benefits of, or deny the benefits, I should say, of freedom to their peoples, can kill freedom by killing free people. But freedom itself they cannot have. For one thing, people like you won't allow it, nor will that higher being allow it. Our greatest freedom, the freedom to choose right from wrong, cannot be willed away by the tyrants. For God has given all humankind the gift of knowing right from wrong and the responsibility to choose between them. This, my friends, is the essence of freedom, that we follow the biblical admonition, I have set before you life and death, therefore choose life. That tyranny is a parasite that saps the strength of a nation in its sway, that like those who lived under Macbeth's tyranny, the tyrannized millions will ever cry out. Our country sinks beneath the yoke, it weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. Tyranny fails, freedom works. These facts, so little accepted only a decade ago, are now indisputable. To all those trapped in tyranny, wherever they may be, let us speak with one voice, not as Republicans or Democrats, but as Americans, saying, you are not alone. Your dreams are not in vain. Hold on to your dreams, because the tide of the future is a freedom tide, and totalitarianism cannot hold it back.
Governor Reagan, as a matter of fact, began his political career campaigning around this nation against Medicare. Now we have an opportunity to move toward national health insurance with an emphasis on the prevention of disease, an emphasis on outpatient care, not inpatient care, an emphasis on hospital cost containment to hold down the cost of hospital care for those who are ill, an emphasis on catastrophic health insurance, so that if a family is threatened with being wiped out economically because of a very high medical bill, then the insurance would help pay for it. These are the kind of elements of a national health insurance important to the American people. Governor Reagan, again, typically is against such a proposal.
Governor? There you go again. When I opposed Medicare, there was another piece of legislation meeting the same problem before the Congress. I happened to favor the other piece of legislation and thought that it would be better for the senior citizens and provide better care than the one that was finally passed. I was not opposing the principle of providing care for them. I was opposing one piece of legislation as versus another.